Act 2 of The Beaux' Duel, or A Soldier for the Ladies, by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Scene 1. Scene: Sir William's lodgings. Enter Sir William in a nightgown, looking in his glass.
This rising early is the most confounded thing on earth. Nothing so destructive to the complexion. It blister me how I shall look in the side-box to-night, wretchedly upon my soul.
Looking in the glass all the while.
Yet it adds something of a languishing air, not altogether unbecoming, and by candlelight made all mischief. But I must stay at home to recover some colour, and that may be as well laid on too. So it is resolved I will go. Oh, 'tis unspeakable pleasure to be in the side-box, or bowed to from the stage, and be distinguished by the beaux of quality. To have a lord fly into one's arms and kiss one as amorously as a mistress, and then tell me aloud that he dined with his grace, and that he and the ladies were so fond of me they talked of nothing else. Then, says I, my lord, his grace does me too much honour. Then, my lord, pox upon this play, 'tis not worth seeing. We han't been seen at t'other house to-night, and the ladies will be disappointed not to receive a bow from Sir William. He, says I, my lord, I'll wait upon your lordship. Then, says my lord, lead the way, Sir William. Oh, pray, my lord, I beg your lordship's pardon. Nay, Sir William, pray, my lord.
Enter La Riviere.
Pray, Sir William, pray, my lord.
As he says this several times, La Riviere enters behind him, but as he designs to pass by him, is still prevented by his turning from one side to the other, as he acts himself for the lord.
Hey, what the devil is he conjuring and talking with invisible lords? He's in his airs. Some pleasing imagination hurries him out of his senses. But I must to my cue. Sir, there be 2 gentlemen below come to wait upon you this morning. Shall I show them up?
No, my lord, by no means. I know better things.
La Riviere, aside.
What, then am I a lord? Egad, I never knew my quality before.
Sir William, aside.
Sure, this blockhead has roused me from the prettiest entertainment in the world. Well, what would you, sir?
I will tell you, sir, there be 2 gentlemen wait upon you.
And let him wait till I have done.
Aside.
I had 1,000 fine things to say upon that occasion, but this rude fellow has frightened them all out of my head. Well, since my better diversion is over, show him up.
Yes, sir.
Exit La Riviere. Enter Captain Belmain and Toper.
Gentlemen, I am your most humble servant. Mr. Toper, I am extremely yours for the honour you have done me in bringing your friend. I lay under severe apprehensions that nothing could engage you but a drinking bout.
Faith, you were in the right. For if your champagne had not more charms than your music, your fiddlers might have played by themselves for me.
Oh, how unpolished, how barbarous that is.
Why do you expect any other from him? He admires no music like wine rattling in the throat of a flask, with a chorus of drawers at coming, sir.
And that to me is the most nauseous thing under the moon. Impair my vigour.
Impair my vigour? Very pretty, faith. Prithee, where didst get that affirmative?
'Tis my own, at the purchase of some day's study. For to use another man's oath is, in my opinion, as indecent as wearing his clothes. And to be in the road of the vulgar is beneath a gentleman who, in my judgment, ought to be as much distinguished by his expressions as by his coach and livery.
Right, sir. For since every body that has money enough sets up an equipage, a gentleman ought to find out some other way of distinguishing himself.
Oh, my conscience, they will ape us in that too, for they are so proud of following their betters that they even tread upon their heels. Not a formal chit or awkward lawyer's clerk that won't court the cook wench a quarter of a year for oil and flour enough to garnish out his wig for a day, that he may impudently mimic a beau. If 'twere not beneath me, I could kick such animals to a jelly.
How? Kick 'em to a jelly? Why, I have seen of that kind you talk of, brawny fellows that could kick and cuff too stoutly.
Ay, that may be, but 'tis not a gentleman's business that always wears a sword and has some half-dozen of footmen at his heels to kick and cuff, nor stand and consider whether the mechanic be armed or not. 'Tis enough that he is, or but thinks he is affronted, to atone for the life of a scoundrel.
Captain Belmayne aside.
Now, wouldst this ass, rank coward as he is, if not curbed by the law, kill 100 men, honester and stouter than himself, only because they don't wear swords, or are not so finical?
I should think, Sir William, these honest people that wear no swords, very harmless, because they carry no instruments of mischief about 'em.
Instruments! Their very hands, their dirty clothes are instruments of mischief. Look'ee, sir, I'll make it very plain to you. I may lawfully kill a man in my own defence that comes armed in terrorem to rob me of £50.
Right, sir.
You allow that?
We do.
Then I'll prove the rest in an instant. I have a new suit on that cost me £50. Here comes thundering by a dirty drayman with his cart that puts me in bodily fear, and rushing rudely by daubs all my clothes so that I can't wear them any more. Now here's £50 lost by this rascal's dirty clothes, if I don't prevent it by running him through the body.
How? Kill a man for wearing dirty clothes? The law makes better provision for men's lives.
The law should make better provisions for men's clothes too, for the insolence of the vulgar is insufferable, and if one or two of them were made examples, the rest would be more civil. One night after a play I waited on a lady from the box to her coach. Comes a clumsy chit with a poultry mask out of the gallery, rushed against me, threw down the lady's page, brushed all the powder out of my wig, then cried, "Ha, ha, ha! We have ruined the beau." Had I been a lord, I would have run 'em through the guts. But to be tried by a Middlesex jury is the devil.
Aye, these vulgar, as you call them, have a greater respect for one another than to suffer that man to escape that kills one of them. But I suppose your principal concern rises from your loss of the lady's favour.
It had no such effect on her, I assure you, sir. Wherever I get a footing in a lady's esteem, I stand too firm to be jostled out by a chit. As, for instance, I'll give you another adventure of mine. Being engaged by appointment to meet a lady at White's, and detained by some extraordinary business, the lady chanced to be there in her coach as soon as I arrived in mine, so that lighting out of my coach to go to hers, a nasty fellow running just against me almost beat me backward, and, though he did it designedly, yet cried, "Zounds, can't you see? Your wig blinds you, does it? so taking one side, gave it such a toss over my shoulder that had not the lady been passionately in love with my person, the disorder I appeared in might have spoiled my amour.
Enter servant and whispers.
Incorrigible coxcomb. Pox on him, I'm weary of him, there's no variety in him. Come, shall we go?
No, prithee, stay a little till we see what becomes of the music.
Of the champagne, you mean, Topper.
Gentlemen, I am the most unfortunate man this day alive.
Why, what's the matter?
A cursed mischance has robbed me.
Not of your wine, I hope?
Nor your mistress?
No, but of Mr. Quaver.
Why, is he dead?
Not quite dead, but an unlucky accident has put it out of his power to oblige us with his incomparable voice.
Is he run through the body?
Or drunk before dinner?
No, gentlemen, but he has scalded his mouth by drinking his chocolate too hot this morning and can't sing.
A sad mischance indeed.
Enter servant and whispers, and then goes out and brings in a letter.
Prithee, Toper, who is this fellow he laments so much? Some rascal that, finding his weakness, imposes on him?
No, 'tis an intimate friend of his, one as whimsical as himself, and truly fit for no other company. He made shift in a month's time to purchase the displeasure of most of the quality in town, in spite of some excellence he has in music.
Toper aside.
And now is become fit entertainment for such fops as this, who, after the strictest engagement, will be put off with trifling excuses.
You see, gentlemen, how I spend my life. I divide the greatest part of it between love and music. To make amends for the disappointment of one, fate has sent me some new discovery in the other. A new amour enfeeble me, for upon my soul, gentlemen, I never saw the hand before. And to convince you of its novelty, I'll open it fairly before you.
He opens, and Toper looks over his shoulder. Reads.
Sir William, I beg the favour you'd meet me. Aye, as I said, gentlemen. Prithee, Toper, read out.
While he reads, Sir William capers about.
A billet doux, do you call it? 'Tis the most masculine one I ever saw, and invites to rougher entertainment than you imagine. 'Tis a very pretty billet doux, truly. Shall I read it out, Sir William?
Aye, prithee, dear Toper.
Sir William, I beg the favour you'd meet me behind Montague House at 6 to-morrow morning, with your sword in your hand, in order to answer what shall be alleged against you by yours as you use me, roughly.
A billet doux, do you call it? Why, 'tis a challenge.
Ha!
Taking the letter and looking upon it.
'Tis so, impair my vigour. Now blister me if I did not think it as plain a billet doux as ever I read in all my life. Where did the porter say he brought this letter from?
From Will's coffee house, sir.
The devil he did. Why, what if these men of the sword encroached upon our privilege there too? What business can they have amongst us beaux and poets? What shall I do? For in short I won't fight a man I don't know. And gentlemen, I vow I don't remember I ever saw this Mr. Roughly in my life.
Oh, he's a damned fighting fellow. Your only way is to send him word you'll meet him on Calais sands. Dueling is unsafe in England for men of estates. He'll hardly be at the trouble of going over, so that if he will fight you, he must draw upon you whene'er he meets you. If so, you'll have both the mob and the law on your side, and if you kill him, you need not care a sous.
Say you so, sir? I'll take your advice and answer it immediately.
I think Mr. Toper has given you counsel as nicely as if you had given 5 guineas for a fee.
I'm infinitely obliged to him.
Sir William, I kiss your hand.
Goodbye, knight.
And gentlemen, your most obsequious servant.
Exeunt severally. Scene 2. Careful's house. Ogle looking up at it. Enter the other side, Belmain and Toper.
Who the devil is that fellow now? I think in my conscience this place is become the parade of lovers.
What, don't you know him? Why, 'tis Ogle the fortune hunter.
A fortune hunter? I should sooner have taken him for a sheep stealer.
He was an attorney's clerk, but his father dying left him a small estate. He bought out his time and set up for a fortune. There's scarce a matchmaker in the whole town but has had a fleece at his purse, nor scarce a great fortune in town but he'll tell you has received his addresses. In short, he's a medley of fop, fool, and coward. Prithee, let's speak to him. He may divert us a little.
With all my heart.
Mr. Ogle, your servant.
Ha, Mr. Toper, I kiss your hand.
To Belmain.
Sir, I'm yours.
What makes you sauntering here? In my conscience, I believe you are in love with the great fortune of this house.
Why, really, Mr. Toper, to be ingenuous with you, I am, and not without some very good grounds neither, I assure you.
Belmain aside.
How? This coxcomb encouraged too.
I was in hopes to have wished you joy ere now. I think the last time I saw you, you told me you was to be married to my Lady Rich.
I did so, but sure I am the most unlucky fellow living. The poor lady died ere she could have an opportunity of declaring her mind to me, and truly I believe I may, without vanity say, she died for love.
What? Did you never speak to her?
Never.
How? Never speak to her, say you? Why, how the devil did you make love then?
By a third person, sir.
I beg pardon, sir. Great persons, I remember, do court by proxy.
I had several letters from her. Mrs. Couple was intimately acquainted with her. You know Mrs. Couple, Mr. Toper?
Oh, very well. Matchmaking is her business.
I'll show you what she used to write to me.
Pulling out a letter.
Here. No. Hold. This is from a baronet's lady, with whom I had an intrigue. This is from a merchant's wife, a city animal, that pretends to a nicer taste than those of her level, and would fain have a child with the air of a gentleman. But I begged her pardon. I left her to the brutes of her own corporation, for I will have nothing to do with the body politic.
Ridiculous monster.
For, if you observe, sir, a tradesman is the most litigious cuckold living. He never considers the honour a gentleman does him, but values himself upon his charter, and moves for costs and damages, when he ought rather to be thankful for the favour.
You are very severe upon the city, sir, but where are the letters you was about to show us?
Ha! Upon my life, gentlemen, I put 'em into my scrutoire this morning. But, as I was saying, Mrs. Couple had 100 guineas of me for the management of that business, and if the lady had not died, I'm certain she had been my wife. Well, I shall never forget what languishing looks she cast at me at church, then put up her fan to her face and sigh, as much as to say, you are the only man that can make me happy.
Ha ha ha! Extraordinary symptoms. Faith, 'twas very unlucky that you could not come to the speech of her.
'Twas my ill fortune, but I am so used to disappointments that I bear them the easier. What I have met with would have broke the heart of some men. The Lady Wealthy was perfectly forced from me by her uncle, else I'm convinced she had now called me husband.
Why, what hopes had you of her?
Hopes? Why, the greatest in the world. She praised me to everybody she thought knew me. She said I had the handsomest foot and leg she ever saw, the best manner of dressing, and the genteelest carriage. She said she could hardly believe me an Englishman without doing violence to her reason.
Belmayne aside.
I should be glad that every English-born blockhead would disclaim his country. Truly, sir, I'm partly of the lady's opinion.
Sir, your very humble servant.
But, sir, was you not saying you had some reason to walk before this house?
I was so, sir.
Do you know Mr. Careful's daughter, sir?
Oh, very well, sir, though I believe not so well as she desires, and I hope to do in a little time.
Say you so, sir?
Then you are very well acquainted, sir.
Yes, very well acquainted, sir.
Pray, sir, can you introduce me?
Faith, sir, not very well, for I never spoke to the lady in my life.
How? Never spoke to her? Why, I understood you, that you was well acquainted, sir. Ha ha!
Why, so I am, sir. Why is it not possible to be acquainted without speaking, gentlemen? Why, a friend of mine lay all night with a lady, and never saw her face, nor knows not who she is to this moment. Now I think seeing is of greater consequence than speaking. But you shall hear how far I'm acquainted with this lady. I lodge at her milliner's, you must know, and I have several times passed through the shop when she's been in't, and as soon as my back has been turned, she has always taken an occasion to commend me, and say something extraordinary in my praise, which my landlady never failed to tell me, with such an air as if she was desired to tell me. Then if she sees me walking here, as I generally do every morning, the straight repairs to the window. Thus, do you see, stand you there. Now suppose me the lady. You look up at my window, and walk thus. Do you see? Then I run to the window, thus, clap my hands across, thus, and hang my head thus, turn my eyes languishing thus, as who should say, if it were the custom for women to make the first addresses, I would now beckon you up.
And is this all the hopes you have?
Why, is this nothing, gentlemen?
Nothing at all. And 6 to 4, the lady never thinks on you.
Not think on me? Egad, if she don't marry me, that's the arrantest jilt in Christendom.
How, jilt?
Jilt? I jilt? Why, what the devil need she have made any inquiry after me, praised or looked at me, if she would not have me? Why did she give me encouragement?
Must a woman be obliged to marry every man she looks at?
I am not every man, gentlemen. Egad, I'm resolved I'll write to her. I'll know what she means by her insinuating carriage. I'll to the Rose and write my letter. If you'll go with me, gentlemen, you shall see what answer she'll send me."
Egad, I'm resolved to have good diversion with this fellow. Prithee, captain, will you go with us?
"I must pay a visit to an old mistress of mine that lodges hard by, but I'll come to you."
To be jilted! Egad, I can't bear the thoughts on't. Come, gentlemen.
The scene changes to Mrs. Plotwell's lodgings. Mrs. Plotwell, sola.
I grow weary of persecuting these blockheads. The very idea of a gallant is nauseous to me. Oh, that all women would but treat the fools as they deserve! Would they take my advice, no fop whose impertinence tended to the prejudice of virtue should escape unexposed. Their different turns of vice I'd show, that this censorious town might know the greatest monster in the world is a beau.
Enter Belmain.
The vanity of fops you say you'd show, that all intriguing belles might know there's danger in a noisy beau.
Ha! Who's this that echoes my sound so justly, yet so much inverts the sense?
One that omits no pains to invert as many of your sex as he can, a true tried old friend to love.
Embracing her.
Captain Belmain.
My charming Plotwell, as blooming, young, and fair as ever, as beautiful as martyrs' visions, and full of pleasure and delight as dreams of longing boys.
Oh, Lord, give me breath. Let me have a little air, or I shall die. So, well, where have you been all this while? And how have you spent your time? Lord, I think I have 1,000 questions to ask in one breath.
And I have as many to ask you, but can't spare time now. Some more pressing private business would take me wholly up, fitter for the next room. Shall we retire?
Pulling her.
No, stand off. If we retire, it must be upon conditions agreed to beforehand.
With all my heart, child. I was never better conditioned for a lady's service in all my life. Look'ee here. Here are conditions.
Shows a purse of gold.
Observe the conditions, and let's be happy, though I never thought you mercenary till now.
I'm not so much displeased with your mistaking me as I should be with any one else, for besides some allowance for your humour, your absence from town so long may excuse you from the knowledge of my present principles and designs. And as great a libertine as you profess yourself, I know the awful lustre of virtue has always met with due respect from you, and that respect is the only condition I require you to observe.
Ha! Why, what the devil is here, my old mistress, setting up for virtue? For heaven's sake, what do you mean, madam?
As I say, sir, that I am no more what you once knew me. Since your abode in Ireland, my uncle, who kept me from my estate, is dead, thank heaven, and I am now mistress of a fortune sufficient for my use, and had I possessed it sooner, I never had been what I was. But now I scorn mankind on terms like those. All innocent diversions I freely take. I keep the best company, pay and receive visits from the highest quality, people who are better bred than to examine into past conduct.
Hey, I find then that reputation is never lost, but in an empty pocket. Well then, thou'st grown virtuous, and I must never hope for the blessing again.
Never. But talk as free as you will, do but observe the rules of modesty. I like your company and conversation as well as ever. I am not so rigidly virtuous to appear saint. I can launch out and laugh with you sometimes, nay, perhaps contribute to your mirth. I'll give you a short account how I have passed my time in exposing to public view all the follies of your sex. That part of them, I mean, whose vanity brought them under my lash. Such whose Tiffany natures are so easily imposed upon, to have the commonest drabs in town topped upon them for women of quality.
This town does abound with such as you speak of.
Oh, did you but see with what variety 'tis furnished, and how universally all men are infected with an itch after quality, you'd be convinced there's not one, from the gentleman of the bedchamber down to the groom in the stable, but thinks himself sufficiently qualified to deserve the favour of any lady in St. James's. I passed upon one for a countess, upon another for a duchess, another a baronet's lady, and so forth. The poor fools were lost in a cloud of ignorance, raised by the hurry of their own expectations.
Why, truly, it would surprise a man that never conversed with aught above a pit-mask to be invited to a lady's bed.
Such awkward address, and the means every man finds to recommend himself by, one for secrecy, the other wit, a third his person, so every fool finds something to think valuable in himself.
There's your weekly finicking dancing, singing, witty fop, who values himself upon writing billet doux,
and thinks his company so very agreeable that he persecutes people to death before they can get rid of his troublesome impertinence.
His chiefest talent conflicts in the repartee of an intrigue. But then there's your old hardened sinner.
Ay, he cries up secrecy and security. His years, wrinkles, and distorted body are sufficient defence against the slanderous tongue. He values himself more for what he has been than for what he is, recommending himself upon his knowledge and experience.
And his great judgment in the happy management of an intrigue. But the man of sense,
him all women ought to shun that fear coming under his power. He approaches securely,
addresses cunningly,
insinuates himself slyly into a lady's favour,
then seizes his prey at once,
embracing her.
Oh, Lord, hold off!
Enter Plotwell's maid and whispers her. Belmain aside.
Fox, take her for coming so unluckily. This denial of hers gives me as much desire as a new face that she should grow so unfeasibly virtuous. Well, madam, you have business, I see. I'll take my leave. Some other time I'll hear it out.
My business at present is for the good of your friend Manley, and I don't know but we may have occasion for your head to help us out.
My head, together with the rest of my body, is at your service, madam, whenever you please to command your humble servant.
Exit.
Clorinda desires to speak with me at her father's house, say you?
Yes, madam, instantly.
I'll wait on her.
Scene changes to a tavern. Toper and Ogle sealing a letter.
Here, porter, carry this letter, as 'tis directed, and bring me an answer.
Yes, sir.
Sir William Mode within.
Your drawer, show a room and send your master to me.
Toper aside.
Ah, that's Mode's voice. A good hint. I'll have rare sport with these two puppies.
I think I heard Sir William Mode's voice. Prithee, Toper, desire him to walk in.
Not for the world.
No? Why, pray?
I know not, but somebody has told him that you are his rival, and he swears he'll cut your throat wherever he sees you.
How? I his rival? Where, pray you?
In Clorinda, I suppose.
But is it possible Sir William Mode should be my rival? They never tell me on it. But he's such an egregious coxcomb that he gives me no pain.
He called you, fop, blockhead, baboon, and said he'd make mincemeat of you.
Oh, impossible, sir. He could not mean me.
Do you think I lie, sir?
Oh, by no means, sir.
Had any man said so much of me, I would have made the sun shine through him. And I think you ought to send him a challenge.
What challenge, my friend? By no means, sir. Why, sir, he is my friend.
So much the worse. You ought to resent an affront from him the more for that.
Oh, sir, you don't know us. We never mind what we say of one another. I dare swear he never meant it an affront.
You lie, sir. He did mean it an affront.
Sir, I heartily beg your pardon. I believe he did because you say it. Sir, else I should not believe it.
Sir, I say you must fight him, and I'll carry the challenge.
That's a sure way that I'll challenge him, but how to come off as sure? Hang me if I know. Look you, Mr. Toper, I have not the ready use of both my legs, for, dancing at a private ball t'other night, I cut something higher than usually, and pitched upon a cherry stone, which turned my foot so violently that I vow I have been lame ever since, so that positively I can't fight.
Zounds! I believe you dare not fight him.
Pardon me, sir. I dare fight any man that will but give me time to prepare myself for a duel, for I think there should be a diet used for fighting as well as running.
Well, I find what you hint at. I'll engage to bring you off safe.
As how, pray?
Why, as thus. Do you challenge him, and when you meet, draw your sword.
But suppose he draws again?
Then I'll step in and part you, so you are good friends.
Toper, aside.
For I don't design you shall fight in earnest.
A very good project.
Come, come, write 3 words to him upon this paper.
But you'll be sure to part us?
Aye, certainly.
Ogle writes.
Now I wish Belmain was here to share the diversion.
There, sir, there's enough.
Let me see. Sir, you must resign all pretensions to Clarinda, or fight me immediately. I wait in the next room for your answer. Ogle. So, very well. Do you stay here? I'll be back in a minute.
Scene changes to another room in the same house. Sir William and the tavern man.
This hermitage is not brisk.
Upon my word, Sir William, there's no better in London.
It is not so good as the last you sent me.
It is the very same, sir.
Well, send me in 4 dozen.
And how much champagne, Sir William?
4 dozen of that, too. And 4 of the Burgundy.
You shall have it, sir.
Exit. Enter Toper.
Sir William, I'm your humble servant.
Mr. Toper, your servant. Pray, how did you know I was here? I'm not usually found in a tavern.
I heard your voice, Sir William. Just as you entered, I was engaged in a quarrel of yours.
Of mine?
Aye. Sir William, 'tis a damned foolish business. I would have made it up, but I found it impossible, so that, being your friend, I undertook to deliver you this.
Gives him the letter.
How's this? A challenge from Ogle? Certainly the fellow's drunk, or he'd never do this.
No, that he is not, I'll promise you. He's sober enough, but in a damned passion. He says you're a fop, fool, nay, coward. If I might advise you, you should fight him instantly. 'Sdeath, Were I in your place, Sir William, such a dog should not dare to look, nay, think of a woman I design to marry.
Sir William, aside.
I hate fighting, but I dare not tell this blustering fellow so. Nay, I know he's a blockhead and a coward too, but what courage love may have infused into him I know not. Why, what the devil, he said not a word of his passion to me yesterday. He dined with me.
He did not know it then, but now he swears he'll spoil your handsome face.
Oh, Lord, I'd rather be run through the body enfeeble me. Oh, my soul, I wonder what makes men so stout.
I'll tell you, Sir William, courage is nothing. Nothing at all. Now, if you look big, talk loud, and be very angry, you'll frighten a man that can't do so well as you. So you are reckoned a stout man, and he that can do it better is a stouter man than you, that's all.
Is that all? Why, then I'm resolved to be stout, enfeeble me. But suppose he should draw?
Why, then I'll step in and part you.
A very good piece of contrivance, pay my vigour.
Be sure you get the first word, for there's advantage in having the first word.
Enter drawer.
Did you call, gentlemen?
Aye. Is Mr. Ogle below?
Yes, sir.
Hold, I'll fetch him myself.
Exit.
Now I am confoundedly afraid lest this fellow should let us fight in earnest.
Re-enter Toper and Ogle, to whom he speaks at entering.
Be sure you speak angrily, as if you would not hear what I say.
Be sure you part us then, sir. I say I will hear of no reconciliation, except he resign Clorinda.
Toper runs to Sir William.
He's in a damned passion. Your hand to your sword quickly, Sir William. Fear nothing. I'll stand by you.
As soon as they see one another, they run and embrace.
Mr. Ogle.
Sir William!
Dear Mr. Ogle, I'm glad to see you.
Zounds, I have taken all this pains for this. Harkye, Sir William, damn you, draw upon him, or I'll draw upon you. Do you hear? No reply, but draw. Do you hear?
Oh, heaven! I must draw in my own defence, and I'm sure there's less danger in Ogle than in this fellow.
Draws.
I think, Mr. Ogle, you sent me a challenge just now by Mr. Toper, and having paid the ceremony due to friends and acquaintance, you must draw, sir, and return my compliment.
Aside.
I'll be sure to have somebody to part us, though.
Runs and knocks at the door with his foot.
Harkye, Ogle, you have ruined yourself by letting him get the advantage. Draw, draw, sir.
Draw, sir. Why, sir, my passion was over upon my faith. Ho, here's folks now. I am resolved to draw now.
Draws. Enter two drawers. One runs to Sir William, t'other to Ogle, and holds him.
Oh, stand off. I'd rather be run through the guts than you should touch me with your dirty apron to adorable my clothes. Off, scoundrel!
Toper holds Ogle.
Let him come, let him come. One thrust will decide our dispute.
Pray give us way, 'twill soon be ended.
Enter Belmain.
Hey, day, what's here? Swords drawn? Nay, then I'll make one in the number.
Draws.
Why, what the devil do you hold the gentleman for? Let 'em go, and give one another satisfaction. 'S death, I'll fight that man that shall but offer to hold 'em.
Takes off the drawers and Toper.
Why don't you fight now, gentlemen?
A box taken for his brutish civility.
When they are at liberty, they stand and look at one another. Sir William goes to Ogle and speaks in a low voice.
Harkye, Mr. Ogle, Do you come along with me, and we'll contrive some way to make these fellows believe we dare fight.
Agreed.
Come, Mr. Ogle, you shall go along with me. We will find a more convenient place to decide this business in, where friends shall not interrupt. You shall hear of a duel, gentlemen, though it is not proper to see it. Your humble servant.
Exit.
With all my heart, I dare fight you anywhere.
That's a lie. Prithee, order thy footman to watch him. I fancy they'll have some comical stratagem to deceive us.
With all my heart, Dyer here. Be sure you take notice where they go, and bring me word.
Exit servant.
Prithee, how didst work him up to this?
With a world of pains and difficulty, I assure you. But there is no fear of their doing one another any harm in a fighting way. Is not that Colonel Manley yonder?
'Tis, and I have some business with him. Will you walk?
My business at present lies another way, else I'd be glad to drink a bottle with him. For though we roar and rake and broils commence, yet give me for a friend a man of sense.
The end of the second act.